Welcome to the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation Celebration Dinner. Please give a warm welcome to the Executive Director of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, Roxanne Moore.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Roxanne Moore, the Executive Director of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, and I am one of your hosts for tonight's evening event. I will co-host this evening with our board chair, Joe McLaughlin, as well as our Vice President of Supply Management, David Curry. We welcome you to the inaugural Sodexo Charity Classic presented by PepsiCo to benefit the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation. This year, like many years before it, we're here to celebrate our youth scholars, our employees, our sponsors, and our nonprofit partners who work together to help end hunger. But this evening is also special because for many of us, it is the first time we have gathered again with our friends and our colleagues in more than a year. So, good times. We're excited to be here with you this evening, raising awareness and bringing significant support to the very important topic of hunger. Shifting from our tradition of a formal sit-down dinner to an event of this magnitude has been no small feat. It required significant collaboration, coordination, patience, ingenuity, and a lot of grit for us to be able to sustain the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation mission to honor our employee heroes and our youth scholars, while also ensuring that we could gather safely, as well as raise the money needed to continue to support our nonprofit partners well into the future. And I'm pretty proud to say I think we've done a pretty decent job. Under the leadership of the Sodexo Foundation Board of Directors, this event was made possible by the contributions of Dave Curry, Stephanie McGuire, the entire supply management team, the Stop Hunger team, especially my colleagues Lisa Acuna and Sarah Sprecher, our dedicated Stop Hunger volunteers, H&S Sports Group, and Idea Works Marketing. Thank you all for your hard work because there's no way we could have done this all without you. I would also like to recognize our Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation board members who are here in attendance. They have provided us with the strategic direction and the guidance as we've navigated through this past year. Board members, if you wouldn't mind, could you please stand so we could recognize you? Thank you. I would also like to welcome and thank Sodexo's Regional Leadership Committee members. If you are also here, would you please take a moment and stand so we can recognize you and thank you for your leadership. I am so grateful to our board members and the Regional Leadership Committee for all that you've done in the past, as well as all you continue to do today to help us with ending hunger. Especially the added assistance and guidance you provided us throughout 2020 to help the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation not only sustain the work that we do, but elevate our contributions to folks who needed our help throughout the pandemic. Our region chair for North America, Sirosh Mystery, could not be with us this evening. However, he did want to share a personal message with you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sirosh Mystery, region chair for Sodexo North America. I apologize I couldn't be with you in person this evening, but I'm so excited to help celebrate this year's Stop Hunger Foundation scholars and heroes. Congratulations to all of you. I'm so impressed by the ingenuity and creativity displayed by each young scholar. Samantha Kopeck, Akshara Shankar, Gabe Solomon, Abigail Yoo, and Shirley Zhu. Your commitment to eradicate hunger within your communities has inspired us all, and your efforts remind us that we can make an impact at any age. To this year's hero, thank you for going above and beyond and showing up as hunger champions and leaders within your communities. On behalf of our foundation chair, Joan McLaughlin, our board of directors, Sodexo's CEO Denny Mashuel, senior leaders in North America, and very importantly, our more than 130,000 employees across the US and Canada, we thank you for making us proud. I also want to say thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate your continued support. With your help, we're able to continue collaborating with and providing funding to partners around the country that help advance our foundation's mission to provide children and families access to nutritious food that will enable them to lead a healthy and productive life. Between the impact of the pandemic and the glaring examples of racial inequality over the past year, we have witnessed firsthand how systemic inequalities harm those most in need. We at Sodexo are committed to breaking down these barriers and building new systems that are inclusive, fair, and just, and that are structured to eradicate the root causes of poverty, discrimination, and oppression. Now more than ever, we recognize the importance of sustaining a focus on our Stop Hunger mission and helping identify innovative solutions that address the root causes of food insecurity. All of you are here today are helping us make the world a better place, and for that, I thank you. To the Stop Hunger and Supply Management team, thank you for all that you do. Congratulations on raising more than $1 million for people in need. Bravo. Congratulations to all, and enjoy your evening of celebration. Thank you.
And thank you, Sirosh. You know, as a dietitian, I've always been very passionate about the science of nutrition, and throughout my career, I've seen quite an evolution regarding the recognized role that nutrition plays, not only in one's physical health, but also their mental health. But when people, especially children, are hungry, you know, they're at a disadvantage when it comes to succeeding in life, whether it's their education, their career, their safety, or even their health. And we witnessed this more than ever in 2020. And as if life wasn't already difficult enough for those who struggle to find a consistent supply of food every day, the pandemic escalated a lot of the fears and the pain that a lot of these folks were dealing with. So unfortunately, those who were also food insecure were also some of the most vulnerable to the spread of disease. But if there is a silver lining in all the hardship that we experienced over this past year, I believe it validated the purpose of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation and the reason why we're all here tonight. Together, we have been fighting hunger for more than 20 years. Because of you and our nonprofit partners, our Sodexo employees, and our many other volunteers that support our mission, we have made excellent progress towards ending hunger. But sadly, the pandemic did make us step back in time a little bit, but it didn't stop us. In 2020, despite not being able to have an event of this magnitude last year, we were still able to grant more than $2 million to communities across the country who needed our support. And we are absolutely far from done. Today, unfortunately, though, there are still more people who are struggling with hunger and food insecurity than there were when we last met in 2019. And in many cases, it is the same people who are impacted most by systemic inequities. So as Sirosh said, we must eradicate the root causes of poverty because that is where we're going to begin to end hunger. So while food aid continues to remain vital to addressing hunger and helping to save lives every day, Stop Hunger wants to help to enable those who are most in need to escape hunger permanently. And we do this by focusing on what we call the beyond food aid activities. To sustainably eradicate hunger, we have to provide people with the secure opportunities for employment. And we do that by making sure that they have access to training, to education, and also skill development. We're accomplishing this now by supporting nonprofit programs that focus on workforce development, specifically for adults, but also mentorship programs for youth and skills training and activities such as nutrition and cooking and basic grocery shopping, but also things like finance. We also recognize that we need to empower more women, since they are most likely the primary care providers for many children. And as the Stop Hunger Foundation has acknowledged that empowering women is a means towards ending child hunger, this past spring we awarded 2 new grants to programs focused on helping women and empowering them with the skills and the confidence they need to sustain and secure a job. We have also partnered with a program that will provide mentorship to young at-risk high school girls. The Stop Hunger Foundation looks forward to supporting these programs not only financially, but also by supporting them with the engagement of our Sodexo employee volunteers. Beyond food aid also means that we're promoting food self-sufficiency. So for Stop Hunger, this translates to teaching people about food waste, about basic culinary skills, and teaching them about activities such as gardening. And you know, while we're still supporting community-based gardening, gardening has certainly evolved from the traditional soil-based gardening, and so this past year, we also awarded 2 new grants to both an aquaponics and a hydroponics garden. I am honestly so optimistic and excited about the future. With your support, the innovative solutions of our youth, as well as the volunteers like our heroes of everyday life, as well as the persistence of our nonprofit partners, we are going to see a reduction in hunger over the next year. I'm confident. So thank you again for all of you for being here this evening. And with that, I would like to welcome to the stage one of my co-hosts and a proud supporter of Stop Hunger, David Curry. Thank you. So much.
You just stay up here. Good evening, everyone. Roxanne, I'd like you to stay up here with me on stage just for a moment. As many of you know, Roxanne began her role as executive director of the foundation in May of 2019. Thereafter, she was thrust into a situation that was very complicated and disruptive. It's called the pandemic. It was, and in many ways continues to be, unimaginably complex and challenging scenario for the foundation. Roxanne's navigated the organization through it, and on top of that, we asked Roxanne and the foundation board to take a leap of faith in developing a new event platform for fundraising. The answer at first was not yes. It was absolutely no. Loved the innovative thinking, but we needed the perseverance of Roxanne and her driving force to really get the job done. Will you please join me in thanking Roxanne for helping us put this event together. So how is everybody tonight? A little bit of change, a little bit of excitement, a lot different. I'm pleased to be here with you all this evening like Roxanne, and I'm relatively new to Sodexo. I began my position in June of 2020, and the last year has been flown by, a little crazy. But I'll tell you, when I learned about the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, I knew immediately that I wanted to help and I needed to be involved. I shared on a call in the fall last year my father's food insecurity. He lost his father when he was 3, and my grandmother was a Lebanese immigrant. She didn't speak English, she couldn't get a job. And my 3-year-old dad and his 5-year-old brother during the Depression would go down, take the trolley to downtown Columbus, Ohio, and sell newspapers. Sometimes they had food and they got to eat, and sometimes they didn't. This has led to my passion around helping kids, like my father and their families, to get a fair opportunity in life. As Roxanne mentioned, it took a team of people to pull all this together. In addition to all the people Roxanne mentioned, I wanted to recognize and thank my team in the supply management group, as well as Stephanie McGuire, who's been on point for this and has dedicated a significant amount of time and energy. Thank you. And even with all the time and effort behind the scenes, we all recognize none of this comes to life without each and every one of you supporting us. Thank you to all of our supplier partners. This event is about fundraising for the foundation, and this is personal for me. So I personally want to thank each and every one of you for believing in the mission and backing the belief by dedicating your resources to help raise money. This support has been fantastic, and that support is led by our friends at PepsiCo, who are serving as our presenting sponsor for the Charity Classic. I'd like to recognize Ann Fink, Hugh Roth, who I want to apologize for playing golf with today, and Vivian Robillard. It was a great time with the team today. Thank you. And let's take a moment to thank and recognize our presenting sponsor for tonight's event, Cisco and FreshPoint. Thank you, Greg Keller, Bob Wasson, Robert Gordon, Ted Beal, and the team of Cisco FreshPoint for your support for this evening's event. Thank you. And if you would please look at the screen with me to see our founding partners, Coca-Cola, Ecolab, Kerry Foods, and Slate Gordon. Thank you for your partnership and your help. And let's recognize our champion sponsors and, of course, the significant contributing sponsors. Thank you for sharing your passion and support for the Stop Hunger Foundation. You're not just partners to us in business. You're also partners in the legacy of what Sodexo is trying to do and the mission of making sure that every child grows up with access to healthy food. Please join me in giving all our sponsors one final round of applause. So now the moment you've all been waiting for. Each year, Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation honors and celebrates the above and beyond efforts of our employees. Whether it's the exceptional service and commitment they demonstrate in their day-to-day jobs or their compassion and generosity in their volunteer efforts. We are inspired by who they are and what they do. And now I'd like to invite Sodexo's Stop Hunger Board President, Joan McLaughlin, to help us celebrate our heroes every day.
Boom. Good evening, everybody. You certainly do look lovely out here tonight, and it's so wonderful that we get to gather in person together. So I've had the honor of serving on the Sodexo Foundation Board since its inception, and could not be any prouder of the work that the foundation has done during COVID and the direction of the future of the foundation. When I became chair in November 2020, you know what was going on. We were in the midst of the pandemic, and needless to say, there was limited precedent for my role, and the task at hand was daunting. And as Dave said, the foundation board said, no way at first, no way. But with their talents, their determination, their fortitude, Roxanne and David, both of whom were newbies to the foundation, along with their fabulous teams, got us here today. A huge shout out and gratitude to you from the board. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we've spoken about, COVID greatly exacerbated food insecurity and long-lasting disparities. While hunger rates have declined from their peak during the crisis, hunger is still a reality for many, and households with children have a higher rate of hunger than those without young ones. We know that tackling hunger and nutrition is positively correlated with issues of access and equity. In fact, the other day, I heard an owner of a local food distribution hub in DC say, if we can move the needle just a tad on food equity, it means we're moving a lot of other needles along the way. I believe that is so very, very true, and is at the heart of the foundation's mission. The foundation is taking a deep look at how we will continue to impact poverty, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how we will do so with dignity, humanity, and empathy for the most vulnerable members of our society. We as a society can commit to coming out of this pandemic better than where we were going into it. And we at the foundation look forward to sharing our progress with you next year at the second annual Charity Classic. Thank you again, Anne, Hugh, and Vivian of PepsiCo, Cisco and FreshPoint, and our other supply partners who have so generously made this evening possible and joined our mission and journey to ensure children have reliable and consistent access to nutritious food. For me, this work is very purposeful and meaningful, and know that your contributions are making a difference. Touching people's lives is what our common humanity is all about, and which is why it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce you to 5 of our employees, our Sodexo heroes of everyday life, who have shared their talents, time, and hearts to help others and contribute to ending hunger in their communities. Heroes are nominated by a colleague, friend, or employer, and selected through a very highly competitive process. They exemplify commitment to quality of life. They demonstrate the importance and value of volunteerism and are true leaders among their colleagues. Let's take a closer look at what it means to be a Sodexo hero of everyday life.
Hunger is an issue too big for one person, team, or organization to solve alone. Sodexo and Stop Hunger are committed to making a significant impact in the fight against hunger, and many of our employees volunteer to lead the charge. For 20 years, the Heroes of Everyday Life program has honored exceptional Sodexo employee volunteers, those who put service before self and work off the clock to help feed others in their community. These heroes raise awareness, raise funds, coordinate food drives, volunteer in food pantries, support food recovery programs, and teach nutrition education and healthy cooking skills. In 2021, we're honoring 5 more Sodexo Heroes of Everyday Life. This is what a hero does. David Haar runs the University of Findlay's Helping Hands food drive, and for 15 years has collected enough food to provide 125,000 meals annually. And during COVID, they crushed that goal by gathering an additional 41,000 meals. Running a food drive this large takes a lot of effort throughout the year. Debbie Harris once received food support and now lifts up others in need. From constant cooking for multiple homeless shelters to buying and preparing turkeys for hundreds at Thanksgiving, she assists with job fairs, provides clothing, collects food bank supplies, and any other service needed in her community. Hetty Graves spends half her week with Toledo food pantry events, the local Rotary food drive, several area backpack food programs, and numerous food pantries within the school system. As if that's not enough, she also works supporting youth training and veteran recognition programs. Tia Nichols fights hunger straight from her own kitchen and through numerous food drives. She's developing a program to introduce youth to skilled trades programs. Tia helps so many people through periods of food insecurity, building others' emotional well-being, and introducing young people to new, positive environments. Warren Bates serves on the board of a local charity, overseeing a vast expansion of their programs to help with food, utility bills, and medical prescriptions to community members in need. After helping their food bank purchase a new building, he ensured that the group was able to pay off their mortgage, so all donations go straight back to the community. These are the heroes among us. Congratulations to the 2021 Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation's Heroes of Everyday Life.
You guys are getting a standing ovation. So let's meet these great people, our 2021 Heroes of Everyday Life. Each hero will be joined by their segment leader, who will be presenting them with this evening's award. Please welcome David Haar, General Manager from the University of Findlay, with universities in Findlay, Ohio. David is joined by Brett Ladd, CEO of Sodexo Universities in Government. David, a 30-year employee with Sodexo, recognized community leader and long-standing advocate for the food insecure, has organized the University of Findlay's Helping Hands food drive for the past 15 years. In his spare time, he spends an entire year preparing and leading all aspects of the project, including securing vendor and partner support, logistical planning, marketing, and rallying students and faculty to volunteer. In addition to leading this robust event, David spends time volunteering with a local Boy Scout troop and City Mission. The City Mission program empowers men, women, and children in crisis to overcome their unique, complex paths to homelessness. The $5,000 grant from the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation will support Chopin Hall Feeding Program in Findlay, Ohio. Congratulations, David, on being a 2021 hero of everyday life. Now let's welcome Debbie Harris, first cook and catering assistant from Central Connecticut State University. Debbie will also be joined on stage by Brett Ladd. Debbie understands food insecurity. In the past, she received food and shelter assistance and witnessed others in dire situations who struggled to meet their basic needs. After being hired by Sodexo, she was determined to pay forward the help she had received. For the past 7 years, Debbie has been a shining star in her account and surrounding community. Debbie started her volunteer journey with Helping Our People Excel, also known as HOPE. Every Thanksgiving, Debbie purchases turkeys from her own funds and prepares a holiday meal for 350 people at HOPE. Debbie also motivates her Sodexo team by leading them to prepare meals for the Salvation Army clients. The $5,000 grant from the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation will support HOPE feeding program in Windsor, Connecticut. Congratulations, Debbie, on being a 2021 hero of everyday life. Look at the camera real quickly. Okay, there you go. Okay, thank you. All right, now we're going to welcome Patty Graves, General Manager from Lincoln County School District. Patty is joined by Steve Dunmore, CEO of Sodexo Schools. Patty, a Sodexo employee of 7 years, utilizes her professional community network to fight hunger in the Lincoln County School District, where 1 in 5 children are homeless. All students receive free breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner. In this geographically rural area, Patty volunteers during the summer months to support 13 summer feeding sites. She volunteers her time supporting the backpack program, and she supports the school district's food pantry and helps the school district recover unused food in the cafeterias and prepares it for donation to the local homeless shelter. Patty also coordinates the Joy Workforce Development Training Initiative that teaches young people how to volunteer and expand the food pantry program. Patty is also an advocate for veterans and a member of Sodexo's Employee Business Resource Group, Honor. The $5,000 grant from the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation will support the Lincoln County School District Pantry in Toledo, Oregon. Congratulations, Patty, on being a 2021 hero of everyday life. Thank you. Thank you. Now, please welcome Tijuana or Tia Nichols, Building Operations Manager from Chicago Public Schools. Tia is joined by Selena Cuff, President of Sodexo Magic. Tia, a Sodexo employee of 11 years, a relentless community advocate who has tackled the root causes of hunger, has helped homeless individuals, women and children in need, and individuals in primarily Black and brown communities in Chicago. Tia grew up in an underserved Chicago neighborhood where she saw the effects of food insecurity and lack of educational and career opportunities firsthand. As a result, she has dedicated herself to ensuring that young people have options for a brighter future. Tia even started her own nonprofit, Work Boots, to harness youth's energy, creativity, and talent in her community and introduce them to skilled trades. Her goal is to ease food insecurities and foster emotional well-being. Tia currently helps organize food drives in Chicago through her church and supports the school backpack programs. In addition, since the COVID-19 pandemic, Tia has contributed $300 each month to her church community food program. The $5,000 grant from the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation will support the Work Boots nonprofit in Chicago, Illinois. Congratulations, Tia, on being a 2021 Hero of Everyday Life. And now welcome Warren Bates, General Manager from Hugh Chatham Memorial Hospital from Elkin, North Carolina. Warren is joined by Wes Humphrey, Senior Vice President from Healthcare. Warren, a Sodexo employee for 19 years, community advocate, and board president of the Tri-County Christian Crisis Ministry, that's a lot to say, Tri-C, has substantially impacted the local food bank's ability to ensure food is available to those in need. As board president, Warren led the expansion of Tri-C's distribution programs to help with food, medical prescriptions, and client utility bills. Under his leadership, the food bank purchased a new building and paid off their mortgage in 1 year. Warren also engages Sodexo employees in his efforts. For example, in 2020, he organized Hugh Chatham Memorial Hospital's Super Bowl event, where employees donated homemade crock pots of soups, stews, and chilies. Staff members paid to taste the soups, raising $5,600 and donating 3,000 pounds of food to benefit Tri-C. The $5,000 grant from the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation will support the Tri-County Christian Crisis Ministry in Elkin, North Carolina. Congratulations, Warren, on being a 2021 Hero of Everyday Life. Let's now bring all the heroes forward. How about one final round of applause for the 2021 Heroes of Everyday Life? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. This evening, I also have the honor of introducing each of the 2021 Stephen J. Brady Stop Hunger Scholarship recipients. This scholarship is named for the foundation's founder and former president, Stephen Brady, a believer in the possibility of zero hunger, who put actions behind that belief to make it a reality. National winners receive a $5,000 scholarship and a $5,000 grant for their hunger-related charity. To date, the foundation has honored 307 young people through the Stephen J. Brady Stop Hunger Scholarship Program. Tonight, we will see a brief video about each scholar and then have the chance to meet them on stage. So let's meet our first scholar, Samantha Kopeck.
The organization is called Feeding the Fosters, Inc. It's a nonprofit that I founded with my sister. We serve the foster community by providing a hot homemade meal at dinner time. We're Italian, and so the way that we show love is through food and through being together over a meal. My parents and siblings, we went to a sibling group home called the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch. And as I was dishing out all of the turkey, I noticed a small boy who was stuffing dinner rolls into his pockets because he thought he would be hungry later in the evening. This really broke my heart because I didn't realize that foster children, their needs weren't met like mine were. I was shocked and I was upset, and I just wanted that to change immediately. Instead of feeling sorry about it and not doing anything, we decided to take action. Just being able to touch the lives of foster children and just making connections with their families and the foster parents who are amazing superhumans. It's been a really great experience. This is why I fight hunger.
Please welcome Samantha Kopeck. Samantha, it's such an honor to meet you, and I hope you know how much you inspire us. You having a good time?
Of course I am. I'm having a great time.
Good. In our country, we still see too many children who are at risk of hunger. Your work with foster children is serving a need that we rarely hear about. What motivated you to work with foster children and their families?
Thank you for asking, and thank you everyone for being here to support us this evening. So I started working with foster children because that was where I first saw food insecurity and teens my age who were going to the same schools as me, riding the same school buses, and participating in the same activities, having food insecurity when I didn't. So I knew I had to make a change, and I knew that I wanted to do something to stop hunger and to stop them feeling like they were different from everyone else just because they were hungry. And so my sister and I started small, making meals in our own kitchen and delivering them to the youth ranch. But as this progressed, we shared on Facebook. Our community was so willing to help and really open to this cause, and actually foster families from all different areas would reach out and say that they needed help. So it was really a need that we didn't think was there at all, but now that need is being met and that void is being filled in the community. So now we are serving 210 people, 35 foster families, and we have more than 2,000 volunteers, so we couldn't be more thankful for all of the support. Thank you.
Sam, thank you for being an exemplary model of stewardship and for making a difference in the lives of foster children. On behalf of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, we are honored to present you with a $5,000 scholarship and a $5,000 grant for feeding the fosters. Let's give her a round of applause. This one. All right.
Thank you.
That was very, very inspiring. And up next, we're going to see our next Stephen J. Brady scholar, Akshara Shankar.
Hi, my name is Akshara Shankar, and my organization is Many Hands Food Pantry. There are so many stories. I remember when I first went to Chelsea, Massachusetts. During the pandemic, they were in such dire need of food pantry items. There were lines and lines of people around their food pantry. I've seen how some of my own friends, they don't have enough food for lunch, or they don't have enough money to buy their lunch meals. I've connected with farms in the greater Boston area. When they have more produce than they're able to sell to farmers markets or grocery stores, they give their produce to me, which I'm able to take to food pantries that need that extra produce. When I saw my entire community coming together during my drives, it makes me feel so thankful that I'm able to help so many people. Every step that we take makes a difference. Even if it's just donating one food pantry item for one drive, it is something that feeds a family. This is why I fight hunger.
Let's welcome Akshara Shankar.
Hi.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You are certainly an innovative person who is well positioned to expand and help the community last year when COVID caused a sudden increase in food demand. What has been one of your greatest challenges that you've observed for people who rely on food pantries?
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you so much for this honor. One of the greatest challenges that I've observed for people that rely on food pantries is their access to fresh produce. Many smaller food pantries don't have access to refrigerating facilities, and so they're unable to store fresh produce in their food pantries. So that's something that is really important so that they're able to provide produce to families in their communities. Another difficulty that I've observed is that a lot of people have special dietary restrictions. And so if there's more awareness about figuring out the shortage in communities that have these dietary restrictions, we'll be able to make a better difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Akshara, for your creativity, and your passion for serving others, and your recognition of the importance of nutrition in the food insecure communities goes a long way toward boosting the health of those that you're serving. So, on behalf of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, we are honored to present you with a $5,000 scholarship and a $5,000 grant to support the Holston Pantry Shelf. Let's give a round of applause for Akshara Shankar.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now let's turn our attention to the screen and learn more about our third scholar, Gabe Solomon.
Hi, I'm Gabe Solomon, and my organization is I Heart Hungry Kids. Where I live, 1 in 5 kids goes hungry. We're trying to fix that because kids, they don't have a choice. They should be able to have food whenever they need it. We've helped over 50 organizations with food drives and with their food needs. We also can see the other side of the spectrum where there are kids that want to help us and that once they drop off the food, you can see them smiling and you can see how happy and how proud of themselves they are. When they finish their food drive and they know that they're helping other people, that really gives them a sense of, I just did that. I can do that again. I can help more people. Anyone can do a food drive. Anyone can go out and fight hunger. This is why I fight hunger.
So let's give it up for Gabe Solomon. Welcome, Gabe.
Hi.
It's such an honor to be with you tonight. And the work you're doing, you and your brothers are doing, it's not only helping to fight hunger, but it's also helping to cultivate the next leaders in the hunger fight for this country. So there are still many people who hesitate to get involved, though, in community work because they wonder, how can I make a difference? What would you say to those people?
Well, thank you. That's a great question. But before I answer the question, I want to thank Sodexo and all of the sponsors for supporting me. And I also wanted to give a big congratulations to all the other scholars and the heroes, and it was great seeing them. So to answer your question, if someone asked me how they could get involved to fight hunger in general, I would flip the question and I'd ask them what inspires them to fight hunger, because meaningful service means something different to everyone. Then I'd ask them, why haven't they done it before? Maybe they were scared, or maybe they didn't know how to start. Then, with the answers that they've given, I'd listen and I'd use my experience to help guide them and to empower them to use their hands and their hearts to join the fight against hunger.
Great answer. So there are no excuses. We can all make a difference in the fight to end hunger. Gabe, thank you for being a 2021 Stephen J. Brady Scholar. And on behalf of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, we are honored to present you with a $5,000 scholarship and a $5,000 grant to help digitize and further improve I Heart Hungry Kids training and technology systems. Let's give a round of applause for Gabe Solomon. All right, stay here for a picture. Okay. These kids are just amazing, aren't they? So inspiring. So let's meet Abigail Yoo, our next scholar.
Sustainable Hunger Initiative. I noticed that growing up, many of my classmates in low-income neighborhoods struggled with food insecurity, so I started this organization. When I was a freshman in high school, the very first thing that I did was organize a local food drive in my community, and after our event, I just felt a surge of relief that it had gone really well. I began overseeing and organizing a year-round food drive for my local community. Since then, my initiative has grown into local community gardens that we revitalize in order to provide fresh produce to communities that don't have access to them. One of the most practical ways to make a difference is to make sure that the communities that you care about have food at their table. This is why I fight hunger.
Let's welcome Abigail Yoo. Hello, Abigail.
Hello.
You've been quite busy the past 4 years, helping to end hunger and cultivating community gardens. But you mentioned in your video that you had some friends who were food insecure. How did you know they were food insecure? Sometimes it's hard for us to spot people who are food insecure.
So I actually grew up around friends and classmates who were food insecure for a majority of my life, but I didn't realize it until I was in high school. So for context, before high school, I had moved schools and districts in 7th grade, and I noticed stark contrasts between the two districts that disturbed me for a long time until I arrived in high school. So for instance, at my old neighborhood, most of my friends were of minority communities, and it was a completely different culture than that of my new school, where most of my friends were usually white and they had greater access to educational resources that were of higher quality. They were also able to have enough access and support to not be able to worry about a lot of the realities that my friends and communities experienced on the other side of town. And when I was in high school, I came across this research study, and I found out that over 50% of my elementary and middle school are actually food insecure, and they rely on reduced and free lunch. And after that study, all of my observations in middle and elementary school started piecing together. And I started realizing and remembering, for instance, one of my friends in elementary school who used to go around with a trash bag asking for clothes because she was made homeless for a year. I started remembering how most of my friends, they ate in different lunch trays than others. And usually those lunch trays had lesser quality foods. All of these started piecing together with education and the empowerment that it brings. And the statistics that I saw validated the realities that I had experienced and my friends and classmates have experienced for a long time. So that's when I started realizing that, in fact, many of my friends were food insecure and have been for a long time. So during high school, I started the Sustainable Hunger Initiative, which is a service program that aims to reduce these educational and health disparities. And so thanks to all of your support, we've been able to donate over 45,000 pounds of healthy foods to over 600 low-income families. We also have an annual fitness and nutrition education program that's engaged over thousands of youth and donated hundreds of healthy meals to them. And I'm really grateful to each and every single person here because you all make that possible. And especially as COVID-19 has been increasing the demand for healthy foods exponentially, your support continues to be critical. So thank you all so much.
Not yet. Not yet, not yet. Abigail, Your recognition of the importance of food inequities and the disparities in your community is very insightful, it's very enlightening and inspiring, and it's what our foundation, our mission is all about. Thank you for what you're doing. And on behalf of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, we are honored to present you with a $5,000 scholarship and a $5,000 grant to help further support the partnership with Love a Sea Turtle and Community Gardening's and Sustainability Initiatives. Let's give Abigail a round of applause. Oh, you're wonderful. Thank you. And now let's meet our 5th Stephen J. Brady 2021 scholar, Shirley Zhu.
Hi, I'm Shirley Zhu, co-founder of Fresh Hub.
We are Project Fresh Hub!
It was really surprising to me when I found out just the sheer amount of food that gets tossed out each year. And at the same time, simultaneously, there are people who lack access to food. Fresh Hub rescues food that otherwise would be thrown away. We transport the fruits, vegetables, and bread from local grocery stores and bakeries to Food Desert Regions in Houston. One of the families that we delivered to was a single mother and her child. The mother told my team about how she was able to cook broccoli soup for her and her daughter, and seeing the smile on her face as well as her daughter's face because of our service made me realize how even one high school team is able to make a difference in people's lives. Seeing the kids choose out the vegetables that they want to keep, the fruits that they want their parents to get, and seeing their smiles and the joy that brings to them warms my heart. Every story, every person that I meet, it's their stories that leave an impact on me and make me want to continue Fresh Hub. This is why I do this.
Let's welcome Shirley Zhu. Hi, Shirley.
Hi.
Your work with Fresh Hub is one of the finest examples of project management that I've ever seen. You've done everything, from meeting with key stakeholders like the Houston Health Department and other key organizations to gain support for funding. Then you executed a detailed plan of rescuing food in partnership with Trader Joe's, advertised by talking with constituents, created an app as a marketing tool and a form of communicating with the community, linked participants to other services like translation services, and even conducted an impact study to ensure your program was successful. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Collaboration really is critical to the sustainable impact of a program like yours. What advice can you offer to others who want to establish meaningful partnerships to end hunger in their communities?
Well, thank you, Joan, for that question. Joan is so very kind, and thank you all for being here tonight. I know that I'm sure you guys have all had your share of collaboration, and I have much to learn from you guys, as collaboration really truly is key to all partnerships. From my experience, the foundation of strong, effective partnerships is trust, and trust arises from clear communication, as well as following through on promises. With Fresh Hub, we were able to expand the number of locations that our food distributions occur at because of our past successful events, and including all partners in conversations and reflections after every event on how we can improve, how can we serve more people and provide better services. Communication truly is a two-way street. With our Fresh Hub app, not only did we relegate information to the members of the community by providing them notifications on when and where our future events would be held, but also in return got feedback from the members of the community. And using those feedback, we were able to tailor our services to better fit the needs of the community. And in all that feedback, our Fresh Hub team recognized how food insecurity is truly intersecting with other disparities in different areas, from education to health services. And so Fresh Hub saw the opportunity to partner with organizations in those realms as well, as we work together in a common mission
to uplift the community and empower members of the community by providing them with the resources and information that they otherwise would not have. And as I stood up here today, listening to such inspiring stories by all the other fellow heroes and scholars, I'm impressed, I'm in awe, I'm inspired, but I'm also reminded that all of us started from square one. And these partnerships don't get crystallized overnight. It takes time and energy. And I want to say for every person that your commitment and your passion brings forth a stronger and more united front as we fight to end all hunger.
Shirley, your energy and commitment demonstrate the power of collaboration and what we can do together when we align resources. Thank you. And on behalf of the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation, we are honored to present you with a $5,000 scholarship and a $5,000 grant to support the second servings of Houston. Can we give Shirley another round of applause? Now let's bring all of our scholars forward on stage. Standing before us are young leaders who are committed to ending hunger, and they won't let anything stand in their way. One thing you will also notice about this year's scholars is that they aren't doing all of this work alone. They have family, friends, brothers, sisters, volunteers, community partners, classmates, congregations, government agencies, and businesses involved in their projects. If you're here with one of the scholars tonight, thank you for your support of these amazing leaders. Let's all please give a final round of applause for our 2021 Stephen J. Brady Youth Scholar. Well done.
So wow, right? I mean, we just witnessed extraordinary Sodexo employees and youth who are bringing hope to communities all across the country. And all of us can join them on that mission to bring peace and opportunity to those who struggle with food insecurity. We can go beyond food aid to tackle the larger systemic issues that contribute to hunger. So as we move forward, the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation is committed to ensuring that children who are hungry today have access to sufficient healthy food. We are committed to protecting the social safety net policies that help families avoid poverty and hunger. And we are committed to investing in young leaders and their innovative ideas because we do believe that they will be the ones to help us end hunger. And we're making significant progress with the partnership of many of the nonprofit organizations that you see here represented on the slide. You're going to be able to read more about a lot of their best practices and the work that they've been doing over this past year in our upcoming 2021 Impact Report. At the foundation, we imagine a day when no child, no veteran, no senior, no pregnant woman, no college student, no person of any color, any gender, or any age, or any disability will ever have to go hungry in the United States and will never, ever have to worry about being hungry again in the future.